Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. If I sound tired, it's because I am. I have a massive headache right now from watching the WWE TLC pay-per-view. I feel the same way that most of the fans in the arena felt. They were tired, they were burned out. The announcers sounded tired and burned out. That's the overall theme when it comes to WWE TLC, and I will discuss the pay-per-view more in detail here. I got the questions. First one from Bautista. What is your overall opinion on the pay-per-view? I thought it started off great but got worse as the crowd got tired and ended up a big disappointment, but I did enjoy Ambrose versus Wyatt. I felt that the opening match was really strong, and I'll talk about that first. From Creature13, he asked me, what did you think of the ladder match for the IC title? I thought that it was an excellent ladder match. Dolph Ziggler went out there and he stole the show in the opening match. And that was one of the major problems with this pay-per-view, is it peaked in the first match. Dolph Ziggler went out there, him and Luke Harper had a great ladder match. Dolph Ziggler was taking crazy bumps all over the place and the crowd was red hot for it. WWE gave them the time to have a memorable match, and that's exactly what they did. And WWE even gave Dolph Ziggler a lengthy celebration as the new IC champion. It's funny because this was the first time at this show that I ever heard Dolph Ziggler's music from start to finish. They gave him a good 3 minutes out there to celebrate, and the announcers talked about his victory. They really tried to portray this IC title win as something special. So I give WWE credit for that, but it was all downhill after this. You had the chairs match, which was, as expected, not very exciting to watch. You had the stairs match, also very slow-paced, and the crowd did not care for it. You had Mizdow and The Miz against the Usos, which was a fun match, and the crowd was really hot for Damien Mizdow. Crowd ate that stuff up. But after that, the crowd started getting burned out. And when you have every single match with a stipulation with chairs and ladders and stairs and briefcases and kendo sticks and televisions, I'll get to that more in a minute, it was just overkill. This show was very much overbooked. Too many things happening, too many weapons involved. You had the match with John Cena and Seth Rollins, and, just so many things happened in that match. You had the Cruiserweight guys, the Cruiserweight Security, J&J Security, whatever they're called. They were getting involved. And then you had the match end in a draw, apparently, with both guys going through the table, but then they restarted it. And then finally you had Roman Reigns come out and save the day. And you had Big Show interfere in this match, too. I mean, it was just very overbooked. And I think that also burned out the crowd, and, it was just overkill. That was really the story about this TLC pay-per-view. And I got this question here from MMA Mike 0. What can help Roman Reigns and his mic skills better? I know it's too late to even send him back to NXT. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But do you think he could have more time there to work on that big weakness? What would you do, or do you give it more time? I'm not sure what's going to happen with Roman Reigns in terms of how over he gets as the top guy when WWE finally goes all the way with him. As far as the promo abilities go, I think that based off of the promo at TLC, I was not impressed with it, but it was just one promo, and I think the real test will be when he goes out there live on Raw with a mic and he has to talk for 10 minutes. That will be the test to see if he has really progressed when it comes to the verbal skills. I don't know if there's anything that can be done. For some people, you get better with practice, and some people just get better naturally over time, but some people just stay at the same level. So it's hard to say what's going to happen with Roman Reigns and if he will show any kind of improvement on the mic. I just don't know right now if it's something that'll happen, and there's no sign that he's getting any better, so I don't know. All right, this one comes from Nick Lombardi 9. Hey Aaron, what did you think of the ending of the TLC match tonight? Personally, I don't really like it. I agree with you. I felt that they really tried to have a memorable match. Both guys went out there and worked hard, but going back to earlier, the crowd was just completely burned out, and you could tell they were really trying to get into the match. They were chanting, they were reacting to things, but they just sounded so tired and so burned out. And yeah, I was not a fan of the finish. Dean Ambrose grabbing a television. He runs into the ring to hit Bray Wyatt with it, and I guess it gets unplugged, and the TV basically explodes in his face. So the babyface lost the match because of his own stupidity. Not a fan of that writing. The babyface coming off like a dumbass. So yeah, I did not care for it. And to me, it was a really flat finish to the show, and it really needed something better than that, in my opinion. Because the show had peaked in the first match, and by the time you got to the TLC match, I mean, what else could they do? I mean, this was definitely not what they needed to do. So yeah, that was weak, and just a sour note on a pay-per-view that started off really great and then just got worse and worse. And another problem with this show was a lot of people were comparing it to the NXT pay-per-view. Everyone was hoping that this TLC pay-per-view would live up to the level of what people came to expect from the TLC, or the NXT show. People thought that, if the NXT show was really good, maybe WWE will step things up and the main roster will be able to go out there and put on an all-time great pay-per-view, and that did not happen. WWE, I guess that their way of trying to top the NXT pay-per-view was to have every match have tons of weapons and chaos, and it just didn't work. I mean, WWE tried, it didn't work. But let's talk about NXT here. First off, got this question here from Rami Full Dark. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts about NXT Takeover Revolution? I thought it was great. It was awesome to see Sami Zayn win the NXT Championship, and the debut of Kevin Owens was epic. I talked about this on my personal Facebook and also the NoDQ Twitter. I mean, NXT was a tremendous show. Excellent from start to finish. Kevin Owens looked great. Loved the added touch with the blood and him getting punched right in the nose. I mean, it was really intense, that match. And, he looked great. Sami Zayn versus Adrian Neville, excellent main event. And I love the fact that we're already getting the start of a Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens feud. Of course, the two of them going back to PWG here in Southern California. And, I remember back in the day, 2006, 2007, watching those guys in PWG, and they were awesome back then. And, I'm sure their feud's going to be incredible. So, I was really happy with the show. And I also wanted to mention Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. Excellent women's match, and way better than most of the WWE Divas matches that we've seen over the past few years. I mean, it was really tremendous. If every match was as good as that one, I'd be a huge fan of the Divas division. And I got one more question here from Popcorn Shower. Hey Aaron, what did you think of Finn Balor's gimmick? Do you think that there's a chance he will be moved up to the main roster by SummerSlam? I really hope so. I mentioned this also on Facebook and the NoDQ Twitter. I feel that his character has a good chance of getting over in WWE in the long run because it is very marketable. I think it's a character that WWE can make a lot of money with in terms of the merchandising, T-shirts, and the video game, and action figures. It's a very unique character with the face paint and all that. Finn Balor really stood out to me from a marketing perspective, and of course he's got the wrestling skills. So he's gonna go far in WWE. I definitely see him making it on the main roster and being successful. He definitely stood out more to me than a Tommy. But, this was just one show, and, it is developmental, so, maybe they'll come up for something with a Tommy over time. But, yeah, Finn Balor looked great, And that was just another highlight on this show. And the entrance was really cool as well. And I also wanted to mention that I thought Kevin Owens had really good music too. So, you know, there are some things that WWE is doing right with developmental, and definitely a lot of potential there. And, you know, this NXT show was way better than TLC. I mean, that's a given right there. I mean, I'm not even going to try to compare the two. The NXT show was far superior, in my opinion. All right, so that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest in WWE and TNA, and I will see you guys next time.